And we didn't have an English version of this. I don't know if there are English versions available, but I figured we didn't really need the the narration anyways, because there's very little of it, or there were some segments where there was quite a bit, and we certainly did miss a lot of story, but it was really about the visuals of it. It was entirely about the visuals of it. It looked like a house, a real house, a full scale house being put to use as just this nonstop moving stop motion canvas where the characters would move along the wall, and it looked like they just went frame by frame, progressing the painting across the wall to the point where you could see where some of the previous art had been covered up and things like that. You would see through the shots the paint drying faster, and it really looked like they had done all of this for a full hour and 13-minute film. And some of it was two-dimensional with the paints moving across the walls and things like that, and often furniture kind of sprouting up from the floor in two dimensions on the wall, and you know, changing the whole scene entirely as it kind of just the camera revolved around the house. And sometimes there were kind of puppetry 3D type things as well. And you could also see the enormous amount of work that went behind those, because they would be constructed sometimes of just like little strips of paper mache or whatever they were using, or clay in the smaller instances. And you would see the different bits of scaffolding holding them up and stuff like that as they kind of progressed it and then did motion with it. So it was very impressive, but it's, you know, there's a minute of this is a lot to take in. So people generally were ready for it to end after an hour and 13 minutes,
No kidding.
which is kind of a shame to say, because, you know, you really want to respect the enormous amount of work that went into this. But I looked up some idea to try to get some idea of what it was about. I looked it up, and the description of the summary, the summary description is: Maria, a girl in Chile, is in a sectarian community tyrannically mastered by the ruthless Paul Schaefer, a German madman, religious fanatic, and child predator, who would end up turning the place into a torture center at the service of the military dictatorship ruled by Augusto Pinochet. And so Maria is punished for having lost 3 pigs, so she decides to run away and take refuge in an abandoned house hidden in the forest. And this gives some context to some of the things we saw. I guess she was in this, the story is supposed to be that Maria is in this house with these pigs, and we see the pigs two-dimensionally running across the walls and things like that. And also sometimes in 3D form as paper mache or other whatever type of puppetry they were doing, but it was all stop motion. And I guess that there's a wolf outside of the house, and Maria is afraid to go outside or she'll be eaten. And they're running out of food, and by the end, when she's strapped to the bed, the idea is that the pigs are probably going to eat her. And I'm not sure if they do or not. I really wasn't sure what story I was following at the time I was watching it.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.